Hello, what is up guys? Eman from Peso Smart PH here. Welcome sa panibagong episode. Shout out to all the podcast listeners as well. I appreciate you all. Today, let's talk about GBonds. Based on multiple articles that I read online, the Philippine government is set to advance its tokenization of government bonds by issuing long-term tokenized treasury bonds. This is going to be known as GBonds to consumers in December. So December yung target date nila na ma-release ito. This initiative follows last year's focus on institutional investors, where the government initially tokenized bonds. And subsequently, 90-day treasury bills were made available to retail investors. The primary distribution channels for these tokenized bonds will be through GCash and PDAX. So GCash is a widely used wallet application with around 94 million users, and they recently reached a valuation of $5 billion. And Financial, the owner of Alipay, holds approximately one-third of GCash's parent company, Mint, while Mitsubishi UFJ Financial Group owns an 8% stake. PDAX, on the other hand, is a cryptocurrency exchange with around 4 million users. It has already commenced the issuance of treasury bonds with a minimum investment requirement of 500 pesos, which is approximately $8.52. Blockchain technology will be utilized for these tokenized treasury bonds. This is what will enable these assets to be denominated into smaller portions. This is similar to fractional shares, which are partial shares of company stocks, exchange traded funds or ETFs, or other security. They allow investors to buy a portion of a share instead of the whole thing, making it possible to invest in high price stocks or assets with a smaller amount of money. So yung barrier to entry will be even lower. A good example here is Gotrade. Pwede kang bumili ng mga fractional shares ng mga stocks sa Gotrade. Yung minimum requirement or amount na pwede mong invest is $1. So for example, yung gusto mong bilhin na stock is $100. Then around 1% ng stock na yun yung mabibili mo for $1. And then the Bureau of Treasury's plan to offer government securities on electronic wallet platform GCash could attract more small retail investors. However, given the recent security issue and breach within GCash, its users might have to be a little bit skeptical about using the same platform for their investments. What if the same issue affects their investment portfolios or accounts? And I can remember back, probably that was 2021 or 2022. I was looking into funding my GInvest account, and I thought that would be like easier for more Filipinos to invest. Kasi imagine 94 million users na yung meron yung GCash. So mas magiging accessible dun sa 94 million people na yun yung investing if they want to. However, given nga yung circumstances and sobrang recent lang nitong issue na nangyari sa GCash, you have to be more careful where you put your money in. Kasi that's your hard-earned money and you deserve like security para dun sa mga investments mo. And first of all, security para dun sa pera mo. Global Link Securities and Stocks Incorporated head of sales trading, Toby Allen C. Arce, said that previous issues such as the unauthorized transactions and system reconciliation problems on GCash could create hesitancy among potential retail investors. But First Grade Finance Incorporated Managing Director, Astro C. Del Castillo, said the recent issue was a minor hiccup and happens to all companies. So that's downplaying it a little bit, in my opinion. He added that GCash has an excellent track record in solving such challenges. However, addressing these security concerns effectively is crucial for restoring user confidence. adding that ensures that retail investors feel safe and encouraged to engage in government bond investments through digital platforms. And last week, GCash explained the issue was due to a system reconciliation process. And we talked about that in the video that we posted last week. So you can check that out if you want. And they said that it has since been resolved by conducting necessary wallet adjustments. So, nabalik naman yung mga pera dun sa mga nabawasan or nakuhanan ng funds from their GCash wallet. But again, we're not sure if that's really true, kung yun ba talaga yung nangyari. Kasi, like, sometimes medyo recurring din yung mga issue na to. Like, last week, siguro one-off nga lang yun na sobrang daming affected users. But, we're still seeing mga scams or mga hindi nasasend na OTPs or issue within GCash. And actually, personally for me, I was trying to change yung payment option ko sa Netflix. Kasi pag yung ginagamit ko ngayon is BPI credit card. And then i-charge ako around 5 to 6 pesos lang naman. Kasi international yung charge or like meron silang what you call that, international fee para sa probably exchange or forex. Kasi kino-convert yung USD to PHP and then PHP to USD. So probably they're charging for that. And then I wanted to try using GCash as my payment option, but I tried like 3 days and multiple times a day and hindi siya ma-connect. So yeah, that is an ongoing issue as well. I gave up trying again. So hayaan ko lang na ma-charge ako every month nung additional 5 to 6 pesos. Moving on, in an email from the Ateneo School of Government, Dean Philip Arnold Randi P. Tuanyo, he said that allowing the general public to purchase government securities through the GBonds platform on the GCash app would enable more Filipinos to be able to participate in the financial market. So, yeah, that's true. Kasi bababa yung barrier to entry. And when asked for more information on GBonds, National Treasurer Sharon P. Almanza said on November 16 that the Treasury was still working on the details. And Mr. Tuanyo added that he thinks that this will only be truly effective if the government sells security with lower denominations, similar to the denominations sold during the retail treasury bond or RTB sale. So same thing dun sa ginagawa nung PDAX on their platform. So ginagamit yung blockchain technology para nga maging fractional yung shares nung asset na bibili nila para mas mababa yung kailangan na initial investment. So for example, yung 500 pesos is a good starting point in my opinion. So RTBs or yung retail treasury bond, they typically sold at a minimum denomination of 5,000 pesos. So in my opinion, that's still a bit high, especially for beginner investors. So previously when I was in college, I was looking into investing na. And at that time, I think yung lowest was 25,000 pesos. Like minimum sa Sun Life and BPI Trade and all that. Then eventually, after graduating college, after about 2 years, nakapag-start na ako mag-invest sa BPI Trade. And wala na namang like minimum nun para makapag-open ka ng account. So that is a good development then on our end dito sa local investing community natin. So itong mga services na to kailangan talaga para ma-promote yung investing, hindi lang yung puro gastos. Then sinabi rin ni Mr. Tuanyo na yung GBonds will be less effective if yung minimum denomination is 100,000 pesos. So that is super high, no? Yung ceiling is super high, yung barrier to entry is mataas. Pag 100,000 pesos yung minimum. Kasi mga middle class or like well-off people na yung makaka-afford nun. So yung mga nasa lower middle or like probably closer to the poverty line, hindi sila makapag-invest sa mga ganitong klaseng assets. Kapag ganun kataas yung minimum denomination. So with more local investors purchasing lower denomination government securities, we can expect greater interest in treasury bills as an alternative source of investment. So, pwede tayo mag-diversify dito sa mga treasury bills na to instead of like going for example, stocks, crypto, or mga high interest rate na online bank accounts or digital banks. And he said na yung retail participation could bring in an additional 20 billion pesos to 30 billion pesos during the first bond issuance cycle in the short term. So long term, probably that is gonna balloon to around 50 or hopefully to 100 billion pesos. With the G-bonds, Mr. Ralph Recto previously said that investing in government bonds would no longer be a luxury but a new normal for Filipinos. And it will be as easy as ordering your favorite food delivery. He also added that this empowers our people to effortlessly secure their future, all from the comfort of their homes. And then Called Financial Group Incorporated Chief Equity Strategist April Lynn C. Lee Tan said that it can help by expanding the government's source of funding. Government usually relies on large investors such as institutions and high net worth individuals. And she added that the caveat though is the size of the retail market for bonds, so it's still unknown and might be a little bit small for now. Then China Bank Capital Corporation Managing Director Juan Paulo E. Collet said G-bonds would help the government's fundraising drive as it widens the pool of investors. And the contribution of G-bonds to government's fundraising targets is expected to be relatively minimal in the near term since institutional investors account for the bulk of bond investments. He added that if investors deem the app to be risky or more costly for their investments, then they might prefer to just transact directly with banks. And of course, nagbibigay din or nag-impose din ng fees itong mga banks na ito sa mga ganitong klaseng transactions and mga investments. So now let's look into other tokenized government bonds. So issuing tokenized government bonds as digital twins or natively digital bonds is becoming increasingly popular, although most still target institutions. Slovenia became the first European state to issue a digital bond, and the UK is planning one in the next 2 years. The largest digital government bond so far was a multi-currency green bond issuance worth 756 million US dollars by Hong Kong. So yeah, in summary, in my opinion, this is a step in the right direction. Kailangan lang i-clean up nung GCash yung act nila, no? And be more transparent if ever may mga security breach talaga na nangyari, and instead of covering their asses to save face, kasi they have to rebuild the trust with their users. And if they're gonna if they're gonna give like, you know, this kind of like bullshit or quote unquote bullshit statement, then hindi marirebuild yung trust na yun. So sino yung aasahan nila na mag-avail nitong mga bagong features na nire-release nila kung yung users nila is like hindi nagtitiwala sa kanila dun sa main purpose ng GCash, no? Which is to like move money around, to pay someone, to receive payment from other third parties, di ba? So walang peace of mind yung users nila na safe yung kanilang funds o yung pera nila dun sa platform, then why would they trust the same platform for their investments? Kasi inherently risky na yung mga investments na to. Yes, itong mga bonds will be government-backed, but still there is some risk. Kasi lahat ng mga investment opportunities, merong risk yan. Kaya nare-reward yung mga investors kasi they are taking on that risk. But yeah, let's see kung ano yung mga magiging development in the next coming weeks. Kasi December yung target release date ng GBonds, so we will see by that time kung matutuloy yun. That's gonna be the end for this episode, guys. Sana may natutunan kayo. Thank you for watching and listening. I will see you on the next episode. Always remember, be Peso Smart.